Welcome back, grade 11s. I hope you are relaxed, and now let's look at the next topic, which is called avenues of acquiring a business. Now, in this topic, or in this chapter rather, you must remember that when we are talking about avenues, we are talking about ways in which we can make sure that we have a business. Now, you must know the reasons for buying an existing business. Now, some owners prefer to buy an existing business while others prefer to start a completely new business, which then leads us to franchising. You must know the meaning of franchising and how it is that we can acquire it. You must also know outsourcing as well as leasing. Now, the revising keywords that you will come across in this one is the word franchiser. Now, a franchiser is a person or a company that owns the business model and related trademark. We also have royalties, which is a percentage of profit paid to the franchiser by the franchisee for the use of the business model. You also have a lessor, which is a person who grants a lease to someone else, or he or she is the owner of the asset. Now let's take a look at the common errors that you are bound to make in this chapter. So it is very common that you can confuse the word franchiser with the word franchisee. Now, to give you a tip is that you must remember that the franchisor is the original owner of that franchise. So for instance, if I have Patience Pty Ltd that is selling chicken, it makes me the original owner of that company. Someone else who will want to start the company using my name will then be called a franchisee. I hope that makes it a little bit easier. Then you can also confuse what a lessor and a lessee is. Now, it is also similar to the first part. A lessor is someone that gives you their assets, so they own it. A lessee is the person that is borrowing the asset to pay back or to return at a later stage, depending on the terms and conditions. And then also, you might confuse the contractual implications of the various avenues of acquiring a business. Now remember, grade 11s, that when we talk about contractual implications, we are simply looking at the rules and regulations that govern acquiring a particular business. Let's now look at the reasons why other owners prefer to buy an existing business instead of starting a completely new business. Now, this is because the business is already established, meaning that customers already know about it. And because they know about it, we already have a customer base. We have people that are already buying a product. So if people know that there is Patience Trading, and then another Patience Trading is started in a different province, it will not take them time to come and buy because they already know about Patience Trading. Also, it is very easy to know the market that is buying the product because the business is already there. Now, let us also look at franchising. So franchising, remember, is an existing business. So the franchisee will have to obtain a license to use the name and idea of that existing business, like I have mentioned previously. Then the advantages of a franchise is that you are going to succeed because already you have seen the business succeeding elsewhere. So my business of making chicken is already famous and people love the chicken. So when it is started elsewhere, they are still going to buy the product. Now, the disadvantage is that this is very expensive to start. So you need a lot of money to obtain that license and to start a franchise. And then we have what we call outsourcing. Now, outsourcing, remember grade 11s, is when you hire a party outside the business to perform services that were traditionally performed in-house by the company staff. So it might happen that I have my patients trading, but I decide to hire a private company or a different company to do cleaning on my behalf. Now, it means that I have outsourced a company to come and clean, not my employees inside the business. Then the advantages of this is that as a business, we concentrate on the core of the business. In other words, we focus on our main objectives and our areas of expertise. Then the disadvantage is that confidential information can be at a risk if it is given to another person. So if a different company is coming to work in my business, they might be exposed to our business's secrets that they might tell to other people, and this can affect our operations. We also have leasing. Now remember that leasing is a contract, and also it has the terms as to how you are going to lease the asset. That's why it says that a party agrees to rent the goods, such as equipment owned by another party. So I will lease my car to you, for example, and then I will give you the terms and conditions of owning my asset for that period of time. Then the advantage of this is that there are no large financial costs that are spread. So in simple terms, if I lease the car, it means that I am going to only pay for leasing the car and not have to buy the car itself at its original price. The disadvantage is that the lease payments are regarded as an expense and not payment towards owning the asset. Now, grade 11s, this simply means that if I lease an asset, such as a car, for example, it means that I am only going to pay for the car as per the contractual agreement or as per the contract. But it does not belong to me. I am not the owner. So when that contract expires, I have to take the asset back. So it is not the same as buying my own car, which I get to own. That is the disadvantage of leasing. Now, let's quickly look at the contractual implications of the franchising, leasing, and outsourcing. We will start with franchising. If you take a look here, it tells you that royalties and when they should be paid. So remember that firstly, when we talk about contractual implications, we are looking at what is it that must happen once I have obtained a franchise or a lease or I have outsourced, because all three are contracts. So it means that when I have now finally had the franchising, it means I need to pay the royalties to the owner of the franchise. So this is the amount that is stipulated in the contract that must go to the owner of the original name, the owner rather of the original business. And also, I need to follow the policies that govern the product or service. So if in my chicken business, I decide that I want the chicken that is used in my business to be imported from a different country, it means that you as the franchisee should not use any other chicken. Also, you must know the termination clause, which means that you must be familiar with what it is that will make the franchise to stop. So in this case, if I decide to use the chicken in my country and not the country that is on the agreement, then the original owner of the franchise can then terminate my contract. Let's then look at outsourcing contractual implications. It says there that the responsibilities rather and the rights of both parties. So it means that both the owner of the company and the company that is being outsourced must know their responsibilities and their rights. And also, they must know the duration of the contract. So it might happen that I hire a security company to guard my business, but the contract must indicate how long will they be there to guard my business. And also very important is the confidentiality clause. So it means that it must be stated in the contract what is it that the company is allowed to share to the public and what is it that they are not allowed to share to the public. The contractual implications for leasing says that you have the right to occupy an asset for the duration of the contract. So if I have leased a car, I have a right to use that car whenever I want to use it until the contract has been terminated, because for that duration, the car belongs to me. Also, you must know the responsibility to pay the fees or the rent on time. So the contract will indicate that maybe at every third day of the month, I need to pay rent for using the house that I have leased, or I need to pay fees for using the car. So all these contractual implications are very important for the lessor and the lessee, the franchisor and the franchisee, so that there is no conflict that will arise between the parties. Now, I hope that helps to clarify the misconceptions that you might have concerning the contractual implications. Now, grade 11s, I am going to give you a small ad break to take a breather and think about all that have been said in this part. See you soon.